Hello guys, welcome again. In this video, we are going to discuss about how we can study effectively or how we can learn anything newer. Here my friend Anand is with me. So Anand, do you suffer from any study issues?
Yes, most of time uh, I study when my exam came near to deadline. Means I study when the time is very less and syllabus is very more. I think every time that next time I will study from the start of semester, but I study at the end of semester.
Yeah, it happens with the engineering students mostly that they don't study the whole semester, but before exam or before 4 days of exam, they just study whole night and pass the exam. I don't think that it is a kind of wrong thing because whole semester we can just spend some time in our learnings and other experiences and some joy, but we can also make a routine of 1 to 2 hours of study every day, or just revising what was told in the actual college or actual lectures. Then we can study effectively by the help of that. What do you think about it?
Yes, it's correct that we should explore the all semester duration, but we also explore that what we are learning, that we should apply it in real world. If you are learning any coding, then you should build any new stuff by yourself. Means you should integrate your creativity with the knowledge and understand it deeply, the concepts.
Yeah, that's true. You know that there are many concepts regarding study. Many people know that there are concepts like active recall, retention, timely recall, or anything like that. But the main thing is how we experience as a study student, how we actually do the study. I can tell you my experience that whenever in our semester, each semester has three exams: first progressive test, second progressive test, and the final end semester exam. In the first progressive test, there are very low tests, or it does not require any much preparation. So we can just start before 1 or 2 days of the actual exam. But the final exams are slightly more tougher, so we need to allocate 1 week or 2 week at least before actual exam. And by the time, even if we don't know anything about the exam or anything about the subject, we can get more than 85 or 95 marks in actual exam. It just requires some skill about how can we write.
Yes, it's correct that there are many techniques to learn faster in less time. Uh, as as we study, I personally believe in writing the notes for myself, because if I start reading the whole book, the time will gone. But I can analyze all stuff or make any summary as a notes and then study it. And by the writing stuff, my brain thinks it's important, and I remember that for few days.
Can you elaborate on that? Like, what type of note taking do you prefer? That there are many types of note taking. Some students prefer just highlighting important points and write them into their notebook, or some just use some small mnemonics or kind of thing to just remember the key facts, and the concepts are just taught by teachers or by YouTube videos, etc.
I think firstly we need to specify what I know and what I don't know. Means if you know any concept and you know something about it, and some concept you don't know and you don't know anything about it, then firstly start from hard thing. Understand the concept overall. uh, Take the overview of concept if you don't have much time, and make that notes from any YouTube video, and then you can also make other short notes for studying faster. And then come to easy things. That easy things, you remember something about it, then you can link and integrate your knowledge with it.
Yeah, it's like that key. If you are doing something, if you are studying a particular subject for exam only, then you can just associate what you are newly studying with the things you have previously studied. Like if you know something, I will take example of if you know how physics work, if you know how acceleration and gravity works, then you can associate with newer things in physics like learning how electricity works or learning how heat travels from one object to another object. It's like studying the associating the thing with previously built knowledge. It will also make our neurons strong and hence it will make us more effective at learning new things and grasping the actual content.
Yes, writing notes, that means you should write by your hand. Then your brain get any importance. Many study shows that writing the stuff tells your brain it is important. And uh, like any bodybuilding, uh, there are two main concepts like you should uh, work out and then rest. Likewise, our brain also have some mechanism. First we study, then we should also give him rest to save or make connection between neurons by our sleep. The quality sleep is also important to remember or make any creativity by gain knowledge.
Yeah, also by the point of taking some breaks, there comes the idea of the Pomodoro principle. Like we spend 25 minutes working and 5 minutes of break. We can extend it like everybody knows that 25 minutes is not enough for studying one chapter or one particular topic. We can just extend it as per our suitability because we can just take 2 or 3 hours of deep work session, then just relax half an hour, repeat the session until we complete our study, complete what we have planned.
And also there is a Pomodoro Pareto principle, which tells us 80-20 principle, that 80% of stuff is dependent of 20% of stuff. Like your 20% of syllabus or chapters will uh, give us 80% of questions in exam. If we focus on 20%, then you can score around 90% in exam.
Yeah, that's true that we should also understand the Pareto principle. We just need to focus on most highly asked 20% syllabus, which will cover at least 80% of our marks. Means if we have 10 chapters, we should for there are two main chapters in our syllabus, which we have to focus very much, and other 8 chapters are slightly less important or less needed as per our consideration of exam. So we should study the 2 chapters very neatly and effectively. Then we can get good marks in exams, at least above 80 to 85%.
Yes. And the main role of studying quality also matter our environment. Means where are you studying? You should set any environment, specific environment, uh, like table or chair for studying. Mainly, most of students study on the bed and they sleep there. Means your mind thinks it is a place of sleeping. Then why are you studying? And you slept. But creating a specific environment that gives you a brain trigger. Like yesterday, we discussed about that. Trigger gives us or leads us focused on study.
Yeah, that's a correct statement. Like I see most of the student, majorly in hostelers, that they just spend their whole day on their bed. They study on their bed, they eat on their bed, they sleep on their bed. Everything is on just one place. So this doesn't make sense to our brain. That brain needs isolation. Everything that we are doing needs to be done on separate environments. Our brain associates a particular environment with a particular thing. Like if we are eating, we should eat in different place. So our brain will recognize that place and trigger that we have to eat. And if we are sleeping on bed, then we should only use the bed to sleep in, because our brain will associate sleeping with the bed. If we are near the bed, our brain will say it's time of sleeping, and we will get to sleep. But if we are doing all the things at one point, then our brain will just mismatch all the things, and it will not work correctly.
Yes, it's correct. And there is also point that uh, what you eat, that your brains work like it. Means if you if you do a lunch or breakfast fully and your stomach is full and then you go to study, then it's obviously that you will slept. Means and if you take any sweet product to eat, like any chocolate or any sweet, means sugars, that triggers a dopamine hit, and then after some minutes you get down, means your dopamine levels ups and suddenly down and you feel bored to study. The importance of eating is more important.
Yeah, it's true that we should also understand our health and also the gut feeling. That if our gut is good, then our study will be good. If we eat junk food or any sugar, calories like you are saying, then we will not able to focus correctly on study, because majority people don't know that what you eat will directly affect on your brain, and not actually that you will feel unfocused, distracted, and unhealthy if you are doing any study. Your mind will distract you always when you are studying. If you eat junk food like that, you should make a proper diet or proper meal. You do not have to eat too much, because after too much eating you just get to sleep. And also you don't have to start studying without eating anything, because then your mind will just crave for food and you will not be able to focus on your study.
Yes, it's correct. We also focus on the our we should also find our power hours. Means when we go in the hyper focus or deep work, that specific time for everybody. Means you have your different power hour, I have my different power hours. Means when you are fully productive or efficient to do study, it's 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 came from experimentation that you can study in morning or evening, afternoon, night. They all have different power hour.
Yeah, it's I have seen that some of the students are my friend which study in the very morning. My friend, he wakes up at 4 a.m. and starts studying, and after 3-4 hours of intense study, he just gets to sleep. But I ask him that how he can wake up so early and do the study. He asked me the same question, how you can just keep awake yourself so long at the night and study. But I tell him that it's my habit. I can just study for 2 to 3 a.m. until night, and I don't feel anything about it. So it really depends on which power hours you have, or you which time you like studying the most, which time is the most time where your focus is at the highest peak level, and all the concepts you are studying will be memorized very fast at that time. And you can see that you must experience that if you are studying outside your power hours, then your mind will not retain as much as it was retaining in the power hours. Means if you were studying a chapter, and in the power hours your retention capacity was 90 to 95%. In other than power hours, your retention capacity will lower down to 40 to 50% only. You will ask yourself that why this is happening, but the majority of the uh, problem comes from studying, not getting the right hours of study, because your mind has the habit of studying at a particular time and you should do that only.
Yes, it's like a quality over quantity. The 3 hour of study can beat the 10 hour of study. And we don't we also should not clutter our mind by different things by indulging in every activity while studying. Means you are watching social media, you are listening your family matters and your friends discussion. It's clutter your brain or mind that you forgot to where to focus. Means you should clear define your goal, what is your daily goal, or what chapter you are going to complete, or which subject you are going to complete. And then you should uh, tell to yourself, I am doing this, and you should do this. And we also discussed previously about rest. We can also walk in the nature or take a simple nap, which can be efficient to calm our brain and cool down our brain and start again by new force. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I think the same way that if we have the Pomodoro technique, like 25 minutes of work, 5 minutes of break, then in the break time, if instead of scrolling mindlessly, we can just spend some time with nature, we can just take a 5-minute walk, or we can just take a 15-minute power nap, it will be really boost our efficiency for the further sessions of Pomodoro. If we instead just use mobile phone or we just scroll, then it will not benefit our newer study sessions. Like after some time, we will just get attracted to watch our mobile instead of study.
Yes, and if anyone is failed to start study, then he should follow 5 second rules. Means you should count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and start, and tell yourself, I will do only for 5 minutes. Then I will go to any other things. But after 5 minutes, you get some interest, and then you tell to yourself more 5 minutes. Likewise, if your momentum is built, then you study for longer hours.
Yeah, it's like whenever we just think that we should study, but our mind says that we will study after some time. We need to tell the mind, we need to trick the mind that we should have to study only 5 minutes. Then after that, our mind will go into the flow. Because before getting into the flow, everything is hard. But after we get into the flow, at least for 5 minutes, then it's easy to continue. Because it's hard to start from zero, but it's easy to continue from 5 minutes or 10 minutes. So now I think that this is all about the actual part. How can we study? But do you think that majority of people, like I think some of my student friends, like they study very little, or they just don't focus too much on study. I ask them, why don't you study intensely? That they say they need to just pass the exam and don't need to understand any value out of what they are studying. So they just focus on studying the facts or just memorizing the facts, but they don't see the actual value provided by the study or provided by the subject, that how it can be applied to the real world. Or we can just say that they don't understand the concept behind it, they just try to memorize the facts. What do you think about it?
It's true that many students focus on only uh, remembering things for the exam for 2 3 days and forget that. But the main part is also many curriculums are outdated, so students don't get interest to study that they cannot apply in real life. And other thing is Many students have assumptions or judgment about the subject, that this teacher is not right for this subject, or this subject is not right for me. But their perspective is different. The students should aside their perspective about the subject or teacher, and they should find the creativity or any gamification in the subject or any particular topic that they love to do. That that thing or that interest can build their study more efficient and fast. What do you think?
I think that majority of students just study for the sake of exams. So now we see that in the Indian student or in the Indian education industry, most of the people just get graduated, but they do not get any job. So why this happens? Because they just study for exams. They don't study to solve real world problems. They just want to study to get good marks, but in the real world the marks didn't show up. The actual skills or actual way to solve any problem counts as a value. So they don't understand the concept, hence they don't able to retain any value out of it. So if we change the perspective, like you tell that the student has some perspective about the teacher, some perspective about the subject, it's all true. But what can we do to change it? What the education system should be do to change this?
Mm, the first thing is we need to explore the subject deeply. Means we have the only surface part of subject many times. But if you go in the subject, then you find very creative or funny concepts. Like we all know physics, but the power of physics is more deep and powerful and is interesting to learn. Likewise, we need to explore the subject deeply. Like if you are learning machine learning, then you should focus on basics first. Means how the machine learns and how I can do or how I can build a basic model for machine learning. Then you can get any interest when your projects or experimentation give you success or any result. Is it
What I,
right?
what I think about it is whenever our teacher is teaching us, they only show us how the how the model works in a theory. They don't teach us in a practical way. So the majority of students don't get real exposure to try out the model or try out the any kind of concept they are teaching. This is, I think, the one part of the equation, like why it is the problem. Other part can be say like the students get only a study to mark, because the kind of environment is grown like that. When student do something out of the syllabus or it's something not really needed for the exam, the teacher don't appreciate it. Teacher just say that you should study for exam, and teacher's mindset is similar, like you should write this much for 6 marks, this much for 4 marks, and they don't really do anything in real world. Like they don't encourage student to solve real world problems, or they do not encourage student to try the things out themselves or go into deeper. They just scratch the surface. Hence majority of students don't really know how the concepts are applied in real world. And when they get out of the get out of the student career and start their job or start their life, they face too much problems because lack of understanding of real environment.
Yes, it's very true that the society or family needs only the high paying job, but no one wants to really get knowledge or education. All other assumptions are that it's the competition of only memorization or only for money. But the main part is students should focus on critical thinking and the creativity, innovation. Means student need to develop a different mindset to learn new things and try out by their own way.
Yeah, I can tell you my experience that I have a friend in my college. He studies day and night and for exams, and he get too much good marks like 96% or 97%. I ask him, you get too much marks, then why don't you have the actual skills? Like there is a topper in our class which don't actually know how to code. He is in the computer engineering department, but he don't actually know how to code, and he is the topper of the class. So this is the ground reality. We have to change the reality that the student need not to just get the marks, but also understand the concept and apply them in real world.
Yes, it's right. We should focus on building curiosity, not to kill it. Means a curious person. Albert Einstein also says that be curious. We should have curiosity that how things works and how should I do it possible. Like you tell, many students are in computer engineering and they don't know how to start computer or code computer. It's like uh, only a paper or degree. You don't have skill, then company will not give you any task because of AI or robotics. That task, a repeated task, can do everyone. You should skill up yourself and be bottleneck of your field. Means if you are not in the company, the work should be stopped. Likewise, you should be irrepressible.
Yeah, that I have listened to that quote that says like that you don't have to become small part of a big machine. You have to build a big part of a small machine.
Yes, it's like that.
So now I think it was about study and other things, but if we think about real world, outside of education system, outside of getting marks, how can we learn any new thing in a real world? If we don't need to study for exam, if we don't have the pressure of exam or getting any marks, how we can approach learning a new thing?
First, we should find where is our interest. Means if you are interested in specific thing, then you should focus on that thing firstly. Means it's like climbing a tree, and after climbing a tree, you can go anywhere on the branches. Means if you master one skill, then you know the mechanism now. Then you can easily master other skills. Likewise, after defining a particular interested field, then we should read it and see what expectation in your mind. Like if you are doing any hardware project, then you like the outcomes of it. Means you can do impossible things by the hardware integrating, like in software and hardware integration. Likewise, you can learn it.
What I think about the concept is I will share my experience that when I was starting to learn code, my majority focus was to learn code only. Like I was learning Python, I was learning Java, I was learning C++ and all that stuff. It took me literally 4 to 5 months or more like that. But now when I ask other students or when my friends ask me how they can start learning, I recommend them to watch some videos or watch some tutorials about it, but they fail to learn the things. I think that they fail to learn because they just try to mimic how the creator or how the tutorial is doing. Like if the person is showing how to build a game, then they will also try to build the same game. They will not try something different. They will not try something creative. And I also think that they just do for the sake of results. Like they are learning to code to make a program or to make a application or to make a game possible. But the actual learning to code or the journey. They are not enjoying the journey. I think that they should also enjoy the process of learning to code. They should also understand the concept. They should ask, as curious person, how the things are going behind the scenes. Behind the actual tutorial tells you, you should also explore by yourself. Then only you can become a good coder. This also applies to other industries. Like if you are in healthcare department, it's not like you should learn all the things, all the prescriptions that you have to give your patient. It's like understanding the patient on a deep thing, like what's happening with it, what is going wrong, what is going right, everything in deep. Then only you can do particular monitoring or particular surgery likewise.
Yes, we should not copy to others or your mentor. You should also try out new things by yourself. If you learn car, then you can try on the different roads. If you know only city roads, then you should also try to learn on different off-roading or any stunt or any drift. Likewise, um, we should follow our creativity. Means, if you have any idea, if you learn programming and you get any idea from watching any tutorial and you integrate any two ideas, then you should work on it. There will be mm, many problems in your way, but you will enjoy to solve them and you get new experience from it.
Yeah, it's true. And I had also one thing that likewise, I have said you that majority of people just focus on result or just mimic what the actual tutorial is saying you. This comes down to like in the environment of actual education. Like in school and colleges, we just get marks if we write the same answer that teacher give to us. We don't get marks if we try to write the answer on our basis. So this concept I think is wrong, that every answer should be correct. Majority of student has a mindset that only one answer is correct, other answers are wrong. But this is not true. Like every question has multiple answers and all can be true. There is no one correct answer to any of the question. But students think that when they say right answer, they get marks. When they say wrong answer, they get zero marks. This is the education system or this is the environment we are approaching. So I think that this should be changed on a fundamental level, that students should be encouraged to find
Innovate.
creative answers to certain problems, not the answers given by teachers just mimicking those answers, just doing the rectification of those answers. They should try to creative the answer. They should try to make the answer more on their side.
Yes, it's right that we should encourage the innovation and creativity of student, not to tell them that you should follow a specific rule. Then there will not any difference in robot or any student. Human is created for creativity or innovation, I think. And now I think we should summarize this podcast.
Yeah. Can you tell what points we have covered so far?
So firstly, we start from starting, means how to study if you don't feel to study. We discuss 5 second rule. Only go and sit for 5 minutes or 5 seconds, and after building momentum, you will go in deep work. Secondly, we discuss about the environment. Means we should focus on building a specific environment for our study that triggers our mind. It's time to focus now, and we should study.
Yeah,
Uh,
in that Pomodoro principle and Pareto principle.
yes, we also see that uh, Pomodoro principles means like we should also take efficient break by going on any walk and walking in the nature and taking any nap that gives us a calm environment or a cool down our mind. Then is Pareto principle, means 80-20 rule. 20% of 20% of chapters will come in exam, that leads 80% of marks. Then we should focus on that 20%. And then we learn about uh, power hour, means we need to find our power hours by experimentation, that when we are most productive and efficient to study, that things leads to go in deep work and hyper focus state. Then we focus on then we discuss about how to declutter your mind and focus on only study, not in indulging in every activity around you. That helps to study more efficiently. And then we study that we should encourage students to uh, not for memorization but also improving their critical thinking, imagination, and creativity and innovation. That's all about it.
Yeah, I think that this podcast was very close to my heart because you know that I like studying very much, and now I am not able to articulate all of my thoughts, but still I was hoping that this podcast could last longer. But still now we can talk later about it. I say the listeners that they should have enjoyed the podcast. Hope you gained some knowledge out of it. Bye.